Cheers to everyone for watching. I'm Mitchell Hall. This is a Stereo Picture Society. I'm going to give you a review now of the new Marianas Trench album, Phantoms. This is the fifth album from Marianas Trench, who are an anthemic pop rock outfit from Vancouver, BC. They got 4 members that look like this, and they're masterminded by that guy, the one and only Josh Ramsey. They like to make concept albums, though Phantoms is much shorter than their previous 2, at 10 tracks and 40 minutes. I enjoyed listening to this album over and over again. It's great music to listen to while you're doing something fun. The whole album's rich with harmonies and really loud and strong melodies, with lots of high notes sung by Josh and the rest of the band. The band has this really loud tone and excessive, choir-like, compressed vocals, which you've probably heard before on the radio, whether you know it or not. And they're still on full display right from the start of the album with the song Eleonora, which is an a cappella track. There are some nice highlights on here. For me, the third song, which is called Echoes of You, is a standout, with Josh just belting it out at the chorus and just descending down at the bridge with a nice little do-do-do-do-do-do. I also like the beat and the little do-do sampling on the start of the next track called Don't Miss Me. At the end of the album, there's this misty pastoral kind of symphony that's creating an interlude for the closing track called The Killing Kind. That track includes a medley with some motifs from previous albums, as well as reprises from both Eleonora and Echoes of You. The band likes to do medleys on the final tracks of albums. But the ending was probably my least favorite part of the album though. The second last track has this side-chained dubstep kind of feel that felt like it could have belonged on their earlier albums. And Josh has these very kitschy, staccato, dramatic vocal passages throughout The Killing Kind that are kind of choppy and didn't quite fit the tone of the rest of the album. The burst of guitars halfway through this track as well was kind of weird. And I think the medley could have been refined and could have been more of a fugue if it wanted to. However, I think it's very easy to overlook the compositional aspects and the vocal talent on display through this album. Most of the pop album's vocal performances pale in comparison to what Josh and the band had produced on Phantoms. So that will be the big treat for me when I come back to this album, and I think it'll be a treat for fans young and old to enjoy as well. The concept of this album is what kind of gave me the hardest time understanding, I guess. The theme is simple enough. There's someone that's being haunted by the memories of a past relationship, as if they're now a ghost. The band's even been on record saying that they envisioned the story of this album to belong in a haunted house. And I understand after several listens of this album how the lyrics tell this story. Josh writes these lyrics in neat rhyming couplets about loss and memories and struggle, of the thoughts of whether they love them or not, about how love would have been like in the early days, and how to come back to the life they had after this relationship, or whether to descend into madness. But unlike other breakup albums, the lyrics lack explicit content and honesty in memories. It sounds like the band was going for a much more fictional vibe. So I think that these lighter confessions on not only love but dealing with it, such as with doing drinking and also thinking about the dead a lot, all these themes are like gliding the surface on what could have been a very deep dive into personal issues and maybe issues on society too. So as the album is glazing and appealing to what I think is the lowest common denominator, I think the album's appeal lies in those who are experiencing loss and love for the first time, which I still think is to the album's credit because it acts as a starting point for a lot of catharsis one can find in music. And to that credit, there's an exciting and bright tone throughout most of Phantoms, especially in the single I Knew You When. These very poppy tracks complement the glide of emotions that this album takes a trip down. Still, my main complaint though is that I wish Marianas Trench took a more darker and much more colder approach to this album and experiment sonically with some more glassy, cold instrumentation. Because of this, every track on here has the same tone as the rest of Marianas Trench's catalog. So on the plus side, that should make for really good concerts. But on the pessimistic side, Phantoms could be dismissed by older fans as something that sounds just like the other albums. I did enjoy this album a fair amount, so I recommend that you check it out. You can develop your own opinion on it. Now, I'm pretty tired of critics handing out anywhere between like 3 or 4 stars for an album, or like anywhere from 6 out of 10 to 8 out of 10. It doesn't tell me anything other than they just enjoyed the experience, and that there's a whole other half of the rating system that they're just entirely missing. So what I've decided to do is just totally cut apart the first half of that rating system and make someone's 6 like my 1. I've made my rating system so that my lowest mark is something that I like, something that's good, and something I enjoy. Which means that every album that I do on my channel is something that I recommend to you. So I'm going to give Phantoms like 2 leaves. Do you think my rating was fair? Leave your thoughts in the comments. Give me a thumbs up and like subscribe if you like my videos and like what I'm doing for you and for the Canadian music scene. Also, some tour dates and links to Marianas Trench's new album and the tour are in the description below. I encourage you to check them out, as well as some more videos on my channel. Cheers again for watching.